Good afternoon, Flint Rotary. Welcome to the Rotary Club of Flint weekly meeting. Today is Friday, January the 27th, the last Friday in January. That means it's, of course, we always like to honor the notable days. You know that today is actually Thomas Crapper Day, which recognizes the most famous plumber of all time. No joke. He's remembered, of course, for popularizing the flush toilet. It's also Chocolate Cake Day and National Fun at Work Day. And on a more somber note, it's also Holocaust Memorial Day, which commemorates the day that Auschwitz was liberated. I had the chance to visit Dachau a few years ago, and I have to say that that memory of what it's like to walk through that gate and imagine is just something I'm not ever going to forget. But we also have some things to look forward to on a positive note today. We have Raphael Turner, who's with us, and we'll be sharing about Consumers Energy's Clean Energy Plan. We also do have a joke duel, the first one of the year. So hopefully you brought your dollars for the red cup or are ready to donate through PayPal so you can vote for your favorite joke. All right, so before we proceed with that, though, let's go ahead with the Pledge of Allegiance. The Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands indivisible, with liberty and justice. And as Rotarians, we try to live by the four-way test. So of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair? Certain? Goodwill and value friendships. Thank you. And we are graced once again this week with Julian Prasitsky for our inspirational message.
I read that a football coach has said, if you win 2 games, you're going in the right direction. If you're here or win 3, you've built a trend. So if I'm here next week, I'm on a trend. If you were here last week, you know that I was sharing on the topic of kindness. And I ended by saying, I hope that you could all go home and go through the week and not only observe kindness, but be the kindness that other people so desperately need. And so there was a little theme there. Well, then, realizing today is January 27th, it would have been my mother's 107th birthday today and her twin sisters. So I went to a quote from someone else known as Mother, and I'm going to get my phone up here. Mother Teresa had this to say, and it kind of continues the theme. People are often unreasonable and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are honest, people may cheat you. Be honest anyway. If you find happiness, people may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today may be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and it may never be enough. Give your best anyway. For you see, in the end, it is between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway. Bless you as you do all those things.
Thank you for those warm words, and please enjoy your lunch. We can see a little bit.
Elizabeth, what time are you coming back?
We'll come back in, let's do it in 10 minutes.
10 minutes. Okay. I'll put us in a break room. Okay. There. I got it.
Thanks, Ellen.
Oh.
Welcome back, everybody. Hope you're enjoying your lunch. Please feel free to continue eating. Wanted to see with our program for today, starting with an announcement and also a remembrance having to do with our Rotary piano. So many of us in the room would know and remember with great deal of fondness Paul Vanson, who was the Rotary musician for as long as I could remember. And it was always a great treat to hear him playing the Rotary piano. Now, as you know, he passed away a couple of years ago, and we haven't resumed that in his absence. And so we were feeling at the time that since we don't have a use for the piano at the moment, we haven't had for a couple of years, maybe there's an opportunity to make it be of use and to continue that generous spirit for somebody else. And so I wanted to let you know that because our club is not using the piano, that we wanted to make it available. If there is perhaps a neighbor, a cousin, or friend, somebody who's taking lessons or would benefit from having access to that, we would like to find a loving home for it, where it can do some good. And so please feel free to reach out to me if you know of somebody who would be interested in that. We want to kind of announce it here first. We'll also be sharing that through FIN and their music board. I understand that oftentimes there's a barrier for people accepting pianos because they can't necessarily afford the cost associated with moving it, which would be a few $100s. So we would like as a club to also be able to eliminate that barrier. And so if there's somebody who needs it but can't afford to transport it, we will try to assist with that. If that's something that anybody wants to chip in with as a way of honoring Paul's memory, of course, that would be welcome as well. But just wanted to share that with you and kind of rely on your networks to help us find a good spot. Also, related to kind of our club's history, I wanted to bring out with Gene Dennis's and Richard George's help some examples. We've got a 75th anniversary Rotary Club of Flint history booklet, and it's supplementary that goes for the 85th year. So 85 years of Flint Rotary history. They brought several copies of these. They're available on the table near the exit. So if you are interested in this, again, we would rather that they go to people who would like them than just to have them in a box someplace. So you've got plenty. If you're interested at all, please feel free to take one with you. And now I get the chance to do something that I think is a lot of fun, something I look forward to. And that is to welcome new members into our Rotary Club of Flint. And today we have not one, not two, but 3 new members that we get to welcome to the club. So that is truly a wonderful thing and something that's a true pleasure. And so I'm going to ask each of them to come up here together with your sponsors, the sponsors present, and that is Lauren Coney, Wayne Williams, and Victor George. So it may feel like that they're already part of the club because each of these folks has been here and participating and chipping in and doing all sorts of fun things. And so today is really just the formalization of that. But your hearts have been with Rotary for a long time. Victor, you were with Rotary, of course, this is really a reintroduction. And it's really a pleasure to have you here because this is you stepping into or back into a worldwide membership organization. And with you being part of it, you're already embodying that sense of service above self. The object of Rotary, of course, is to encourage and foster this ideal as the basis of worthy enterprise, and that you are today officially part of that effort as well. You've been approved for membership in this club because we believe you are a worthy representative of your vocation, that you're interested in the ideals of Rotary, and you're willing to do your share in translating these ideals into the real world. You've agreed to accept the obligations attached to your membership, to obey by the club's constitution and bylaws. And I will say, you have jumped in already with the 2 feet to really put that into action. So it's my pleasure to present you with a few emblems of that membership. You have, of course, a plaque, as well as your Rotary mug, and a pin that we hope you will wear every day with pride. Right, that's me.
What? Under my.
All right. So usually we offer the opportunity to say a couple words if you'd like to, just to let us know who you are or to share why you sponsored somebody. Victor George, I offered, but he said he doesn't need any introduction because he already knows everybody. But
Here I go.
you're welcome.
I just want everybody to know that I'm very happy to be back. And a lot of you are getting to look a lot older than when I started. I just thought I might pass that on. Nice being back with you all. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I just want to say, I feel like this was all kind of meant to be. I remember coming with my mother to Rotary, 5th and 6th grade when we all were still at Carter Center, and I would come up at lunchtime with my mom, and I've just been a part of, growing up within this organization and seeing all the amazing things you all do for the community and beyond. So it's really awesome to actually be a part of it in my adult life. So thank you all.
Hey, well, unlike one, I actually haven't heard of Rotary at all. But that was kind of a big deal. I hadn't heard of Rotary, but that is my goal of being here, is to introduce a lot more young people and actually being involved in the community and being face forward so that we're actually being able to see. And so that is my goal. Thank you. That a good background?
Step forward. You have prints on your forehead. There we go. Perfect, thank you. Thank you. You guys stay here, because we're gonna do a selfie.
Okay. All right. So Dawn is on it. She's gonna make sure we have good selfies for our Facebook feed.
There we go. Thank you.
All right. So we've got more to look forward to today. So we do have a couple of health and welfare updates. I heard from Jerry Hill last night. His wife Diane is now out of the hospital. She was there for about a week, but she is now home and recovering. So she's very appreciative of our well wishes. Also wanted to acknowledge and congratulate. We have a Rotarian who is now part of the Davidson City Council. So Dave Perry was sworn in. And I wanted to just pass along also that the longtime companion of one of our Rotarians, Helen Solpat, that her good friend Wayne Next has passed away. And so please be thinking of her and all of his love. Let's see, I think we do have some guests to be welcome today. So if you brought a guest, would you please stand with your guest? I'm going to pass the mic so that folks on Zoom can also hear. So I think we have to start at this table right here.
Brings them so often that I think that we can clean up things.
All right, and do we have any visitors on Zoom?
No guess.
No guess, all right.
Yeah, we didn't hear that.
We heard you loud and clear. All right, so that brings us to the long awaited joke duel. Let's see, and we have today, I don't know who wants to go first. Nick, you want to go first? You prefer to go second?
I have no preference.
No preference. Okay. Well, in that case, since I'm already up here, and so Ed Fletcher was supposed to be the joke duel participant today. He came down with a sinus infection in the last month. And so,
That's a joke.
right. So we'll get him back for a future one. But in the meantime, you've got me. So, once there was this wasp that lived in the forest, and this was not your ordinary wasp. It was actually a very smart wasp. You might even say a philosophical wasp. So he was fed up at that point with having done the same repetitive things all the days of his life and decided he wanted to go out into the world and make something of himself. So he did what many people do, enrolled in school. Education is so important. And this wasp, being so intelligent, was able to graduate high school with flying colors. I mean, 4.0, member of the debate team and the math club and all of the quiz bowl and all of that. And was actually valedictorian. So this wasp then couldn't stop there, wanted to pursue further education and actually got accepted to Harvard with a full ride scholarship.
Great place. Let me just tell you, it's a great.
Yeah, Bob can vouch for that. And, made it on the dean's list, part of the rowing clubs, student government, all of them. In fact, he even started a Rotary club and was the head of that. Even the professors looked up to this wasp. And so he continued his education, ended up with 2 PhDs. And at that point, you can't just stay in school. You got to figure out, what am I going to actually do with my life? And so the wasp, being so motivated, said, you know what, I'm going to try politics. He didn't quite go for the Davidson City Council, but he did get elected mayor for his local town and did a number of improvements to the infrastructure and various elements of the city government. Went on there to the governor, was well-liked there, and a couple years later ended up running for president. Now, you're not going to believe it, but this wasp won a solid majority of the Electoral College, served as president, not for 1 term, but 2 terms actually, and accomplished just magnificent things. Developed a cure for cancer, COVID, all of it, like just even the people from the other party had to give it to this wasp. He was just the best president ever, but of course, term limits being what they are, had to leave office after those 8 years. And for the first time, then the wasp had a moment to reflect back and realized that he really missed seeing his family. And so made the decision that, now that they were done serving as president, they would return back to the forest and revisit their family and the community they grew up with. And so the wasp did that. And things were maybe a little bit shabbier than what he remembered, but he really enjoyed reconnecting with his family, telling all sorts of stories from that incredible journey. Because of course, none of these wasps had ever been outside the forest. And it was just a wonderful time. He had been talking for like 2 hours straight. And then started to get pretty thirsty, so I thought, I need to get myself some water. So the wasp went down to the local watering hole there, only to discover that there was an enormously long line of other creatures waiting for their turn in this watering. Well, I'm a patient wasp. We waited 1 hour, 2 hours, and just the slime was not moving, and calculated that it was going to take just an inordinate amount of time to make it through this line. So wasp, okay, well, maybe not water. Maybe I'll go get something else. I'll get some cider. So we went to the place that he knew that had some cider, and there's a line there too. And he was like, I'm really thirsty. Where else can I go? And I remember. There's almost never a line at the fruit punch place. So he decides to go, well, I can do some fruit punch instead. And lo and behold, wouldn't you know it, there was no punch line.
Take a step back from that one. Down part of the joke, Cody, you could probably save some money by just doing a corporate. A lot of you know that I had a stint where I lived in Florida, Sarasota. And there was a conductor for the Sarasota Symphony. And this conductor one day was, yeah, they could, well, he goes like this, his baton goes right, right into one of the pillars. So kills the person in the so
Elizabeth,
You mute anybody that's on the Zoom side.
yeah, it's Amy. Okay, and then can you have whoever's speaking in the mic, have them step back just a few inches because we can hear better when you're, yeah, Nick, you're too close to the mic. All right. Well, don't go overboard.
in this room, we're having a hard time hearing, so I'm trying to do my best. But, so, the person dies. So naturally, the police have to come, they start investigating it, and they suspect that this was actually intentional. So they put the maestro in jail, and the maestro goes, has to go to trial. They try him, and they decided that, yeah, that was intentional. We're sending him to life in prison. He gets the chair, the electric chair. So he's walking down for the electric chair after he spent his time in prison. And the executioner says, Maestro, what would you like for your last meal? He says, 1 piece of Swiss cheese. He says, sure. And he hands 1 piece of Swiss cheese. The maestro eats it. He sits down in the electric chair, gets strapped in, helmet on. The executioner goes up to the wall. Smoke everywhere. Boom. He's still alive. Okay, remember, this is Florida. Florida has weird laws. One of the laws in Florida is that if you live after the electrocution chair, then you get set free. Maestro got set free. Guess what? He got his job back at the symphony. He's back at the symphony doing the same thing. Shoo! Boom! Right through the violin player. Same thing. Cops come, gets arrested, goes to court, gets tried. They say, life in prison, you get the chair. Walking back to the electric chair, and the executioner says, Maestro, what would you like for your last meal? And he says, this time I would like 2 pieces of Swiss cheese, please. Hands him 2 pieces. 1 piece, eats the next piece. Gets down there, sits in, strapped in, helmet on. Boom, smoke everywhere, turns it off. Still alive. We're in Florida, he gets set free again. Gets another job. Third time, dun, 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 shoo, boom. Right through the, I think it was one of the other violin players. It's irrelevant. He killed somebody again. Same thing happens, all the same stuff. Goes to prison, sits in prison, then it's his time and he comes up. Executioner says, Maestro, what would you like for your last meal? He says, this time I would like 3 pieces of cheese. Executioner says, you know what, Maestro? I'm tired of this. I know this is out of protocol. You're not getting your last meal this time. I don't know what it is about this cheese. Get in the chair. Sits him down in the chair, straps him in, puts it on. Boom! Turns it on, or turns it off, excuse me. He's still alive. He says, Maestro, what is it about this? I thought it was the cheese. And he says, sir, it has nothing to do with the cheese. I'm just a poor conductor.
Oh,
Let's see.
well, so there's 2 red cups on the table. One of them has a paper with Nick's name on it. So if you enjoy Nick's book or Nick's joke, go ahead and put some money in the cup. If you preferred the one I told you, put it in the one without the little paper in it. If you didn't bring cash, but you want to participate, you can go to flintrotary.org and there's the PayPal button on the right hand side. You can do it by PayPal. Just be sure to say if you see joke, you're going for the money. All right. So thanks very much. Being part of the plan. We're looking for new people to participate for February. So if you've got a good joke to tell or even a bad joke to tell, let me know. Sign up. All right, that brings us to our 50/50 raffle. All right, order in the cart. All right, we are here for our 50/50 raffle and we have Firebird Fred ready with his bucket.
Here sooner, but my head moved away for dollars. I couldn't wait for a minute. They took me paper.
That's right.
National security, I think.
And you'll notice we have.
It's very fast. It's very fast car when it is that.
You'll notice we have different tickets this week.
Oh, Terry, would you check my tickets? I like clean winners. Would you? And I need an honest. Would you like to be? Are you an honest man? I have to ask you. 3 days a week down. Okay. Now, would you please carefully turn the ticket? Would you pull a ticket, please? President Elizabeth.
All right, ticket number 714012. All right.
Congratulations.
Third prize.
We always give them a break, don't we?
All right, I think we got.
Would you do it again, please?
Campaign fund.
Right. Yeah.
All right, for second prize, we have 714045. 045. Anybody? 045? Bueller? Okay, going once, going twice. We'll pull again.
We don't pay overtime for this job, however, I just wanted to point out.
Thank you. All right, second prize, 714021.
Oh, did you say 4021.
I did indeed.
Oh. Gee, that looks like mine.
All right, Robert.
Rob Duel.
And Fritz, sir.
And for half a tank of gas, we're pulling for the first prize.
First prize is 714089.
Well, he's so honest that he pulled mine.
For folks on vacation, Craig pulled the next. So, as it's our last Friday of the month, we're going to celebrate January birthdays, and filling in for us that day is Rob Bennett.
All right, go. You hear me? I don't know what's going on. Okay. Getting right into it, birthday month of January. We have on January 1st, New Year, baby. Dr. Bob McMahon from Kettering University. I don't see him here today. If you're here, come up. January 3rd, with Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Rita Stanley. I think I'd like to say she's now retired from. So that's good. On January 5th, University of Michigan Fund Development, Ellen Eccles. Yeah, she's on. Yeah, she's the one that got this one up here. There. Hey, Steer. Hi. She got $1. I got you covered. January 9th. Rob Bennett, yours truly. Glad to be here. January 18th. Lonnie Maxwell Cook, CPA. January 22nd, Jessica Simpson with the Flint Institute of Music. January 25th, Howard Downing. I know he's here today, so come on up. I don't like standing up here by myself anymore. January 29th, Dan Craney. Our in-house sign maker. He custom made the signs for the cup this morning when we were at lunch. And last but not least, January 30th, our inspirational message, past president, Julianne Kuczynski. Welcome, happy birthday. And let's all sing a nice round of happy birthday to the Rotarians that are up here a cappella. I'm not gonna leave it out. To you. Happy birthday, dear. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Okay. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Send you back. Greater good. And for the record, she's not giving back a teaching, got the money filling. So, all right, welcome. I'd like to welcome now our past president, Kyle McCree, who's going to introduce our special speaker.
Thank you, President Elizabeth. You know, I'm reminded that the last time our speaker was at this podium was when he was roasting. And I've had the privilege of knowing Raphael Turner. I think we met in 1995. So almost 30 years we've known one another. Our age, you know, Raphael looks about 27. So to have known him for 30 years is saying something, but can't say anything really bad about Raphael. One, because dad is here. And two, anything kind of bad he did, I probably was there also. So I don't want to tell him myself, but Raphael Turner is the Community Affairs Manager for Consumers Energy. He covers Genesee and Saginaw counties, which proves that he is not as good of a negotiator as either myself or Kevin Keene, because Kevin had Genesee and Lapeer County. I had just Genesee. Somehow you have these two large counties to manage. But he's doing a great job. In his role, he serves as the liaison and the go-to person for the community with the company, both the eyes and ears and also the voice of our company. Raphael was educated at
great high school that used to be on Carpenter Road called Flint Powers. He Go Chargers. He has his undergraduate from Eastern Michigan, but did studies at Howard University while he was in DC, interning. And then did his master's at U of Flint. He's worked in his career, started out in a lot of government work, worked for the late Congressman Dale Kennedy for about 10 years, both in DC and here in Michigan. Also worked for late Senator Carl Levin towards the end of his last term, and then shifted into the nonprofit world, working at the Flint Josie Chamber, working at Flint Area Investment Office, and then for a number of years at the Ruth Mott Foundation before he joined Consumers Energy 2 years ago. And the three titles that Raphael holds closest to his heart are believer, husband, and father. He is he is a minister at Word of Life Christian Church here in the city of Flint. So we've got a few ministers. We have a preach off, not a joke duel between some of the clergy here in the room. He's also the proud father of three, Christopher, Rocco, and Roxy, and the husband of the almost sainted Toya Turner, who is the ringleader and matriarch of the family. He's part of the great Turner family as well. His dad's here. If you're around Flint, you know a lot of the Turners. They're very involved in their community, just like mother, and many of his extended family as well. So you're carrying on a great legacy, and love to hear you tell us about the Flint Energy Plan.
For that warm introduction. Thank you for being kinder to me than I was to you during your roast. So you took the message of the day to heart for sure. Yep, thank you. Okay. All right. Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Kyle. Thank you, President. We had the pleasure of working together for several years at the Ruth Mott Foundation. As Kyle mentioned, it's good to be home. Good to be here with my fellow Rotarians. I know I missed you guys for a while. As Kyle mentioned, I found myself covering 3 territories. Kyle served one when I stepped into this role, like Genesee County, Shiawassee County for a while, and now Saginaw. So definitely spending a little bit of time on the road. So yeah, enjoying the role as Community Affairs Manager. Honored to be here today. I want to talk to you a little bit about hometown service and our clean energy plan, because I think they go hand in hand as it relates to our values for the Consumers Energy Company. And we really have a focus, a triple bottom line of people, the planet, and Michigan's prosperity. So first, I want to talk a little bit about hometown service and the positive changes that we're making in the energy sector. And so, what does it mean when we talk about hometown service? It's about serving our customers that meets them where they are. Hometown service puts our customers first in the community, no matter the setting or the need. Hometown service is also about doing the right things that keep our customers coming back and satisfied, even during times when it's really tough. It's about building trust, trust that no discount program, no giveaway, no TV ad could ever build. It's really establishing those relationships. And many think big companies like an energy company can't deliver hometown service or some think they shouldn't even bother with trying. But I can personally tell you that we strive every day to deliver that personal touch in hometown service. And I know many of you are saying, but Raphael, we don't get a chance to choose who our electric and our gas provider is. And that is true. You're correct. You are fair in saying that. But I can tell you, in all honesty, at Consumers Energy, from our president, Garrett Rothschild, on down to everyone in the company, we believe that's even more reason to try to provide excellent customer service and do an exceptional job for the people that we have the privilege to serve. And we do it better, and we need to do it better because we're great, not in spite of that fact. So I'll show you as we go through why we should do it bigger and better. But really briefly, I'll give you a little bit of history of the company. Many of you may know this, some may not. And so let's see if I can get this quick right. Okay, so just a little bit of history about the company. Consumers Energy has been serving the state since 1886. Consumers is one of the largest companies and the largest combination utility in the state. Nationally, we're the fourth largest electric and natural gas utility. We serve customers in all 68 Lower Peninsula counties here in the state of Michigan, providing gas and or electric to 6.8 million customers and residents. We have a workforce of about 8,200 full-time employees, and we are one of Michigan's largest landowners and taxpayers. And a quote from one of our founders: "If you have made a promise, or if you have promised anything, carry through with it." And we really try to carry through with that message and that delivery of hometown service. And so that's, being big, we want to go big. And it makes me think about another Michigan-based company and their quote and how they started a change in their company was Domino's Pizza, right? Domino's went through a period where they had to transition their restaurants, they had to transition their menu. They would say before, as they were going through this transition, our pizzas don't suck, but we do realize that we can do better and will do better for our customers. And I'm certain many of you will agree with, the same that can be said about our company. Our service doesn't necessarily suck, but we can and will do better for our customers. And then when you really think about the amount of power and gas and electricity that we serve, it's amazing. Really our grid, the upgrades need to be made, but it doesn't lose the power, the energy that we could when we look at our infrastructure overall as a country. So as one of Michigan's biggest company, it is my privilege and in fact my honor to be a force for good. We actually must measure customer service industry-wide all the way down to our call center. Everybody has it as a metric annually. And that means every single day our employees show up to provide exceptional customer service as a goal. Many big companies spend time and money trying to tell you they're not big. I can definitely understand that impulse because sometimes customers don't like the feel of a big company. Sometimes customers don't like, being felt as though they're just one of 1,000 nameless or faceless numbers. And so we try our best to combat that again with that personal touch and service. So this is why our company also invests in personal experiences and a menu of products for our customers to choose from. And real people answering the phone. So we do those things too. It's important, but it's not the only thing to consider when you think about hometown service. To us, it's about not who's big or small. It comes down to, do you provide great customer service? But because we are big, we want to lean into that, and we want to really show up in our community in tangible ways. And I'll go over some of those ways that we've shown up. It's about doing good and being good for our customers in our community. And so this is why we really follow that model of world-class performance, delivering hometown service. So now I want to talk a little bit about how we showed up over the last few years in community. So showing up to do more, when we talk about consumers' energy, we have really worked aggressively. The work that we do in our communities. We fix lines, transformers, installing natural gas. We're doing tree trimming. We're out doing meter replacements and infrastructure upgrades and much more. And so that's the nuts and bolts of the day-to-day work. But sometimes we know that our work can be disrupted with outages, with taking down street closures or doing work in your lawn. And so we recognize those disruptions and the impacts that they can cause on our customers. And we're really committed to really leaving our customers, our business customers, our homeowners, leaving the situation better than we found it. I can recall a situation here in the city of Flint, even last year in the aftermath of a storm, where I went out to do an activation there, where individuals were out, and I was able to show up in our work in community affairs, serving hot coffee, bringing donuts out, providing, things that people need, warming places for people to go warm up while the power was being restored. But after the storm, I also recall our line workers out picking up flower pots. They're out, moving things in the yard, going above and beyond. They could have just restored the line and just headed back home, headed back to the service center. But even after 12-hour shifts or sometimes round-the-clock shifts for restorations, you oftentimes see our frontline workers doing these things in the community, passing out little toy, construction trucks to kids in the neighborhood. And that's really going the extra mile. And we aim to equip all of our workers with that type of mindset and ability to do that. It's also about how we showed up in our community during COVID-19 and those impacts. And I'll give you a few examples. When COVID gripped our state, our nation indeed, over 3 years ago, the pandemic's early stages, Consumers Energy workforce was essential. We were deemed essential workers, obviously, so that we can continue to safely deliver gas and electricity to our customers. Statewide lockdowns hit small businesses hardest, with many of them struggling to survive. So protecting our state's most vulnerable population, including isolated seniors and medical staff that were caring for COVID patients, we wanted to step in and do more. So we definitely stepped in and focused purely on what we could do outside of our traditional call to provide the energy that people need. And so beyond that, we turned our business center agents in to help customers navigate federal and state stimulus programs. We created small business toolkits to help business owners understand which federal and state programs that they will qualify for. And our company, our coworkers, retirees, and the Consumers Energy Foundation gave more than $19 million to nonprofit to help out with the impacts of COVID. We gave those grants, those services, and that impact to vulnerable residents, small businesses, many of whom were women and minority owned. And we also encouraged small businesses in need to work with the Flint and Genesee Chamber to stay up on the latest of federal and state stimulus programs. COVID-19 impacts was unprecedented. It still is for many businesses, but we wanted to jump in to go the extra mile as a company to make sure that these businesses were strong and try to help as many as we could survive this most challenging time. When we talk about making a difference in the livelihoods a little bit easier, the Our Town program was a major program. Kyle was able to start that, as I transitioned into the role. And at the height of the pandemic in 2020, with again the crippling effects of the statewide lockdown, we went in to do a one-for-one matching program called Our Town, which was a gift card program for small businesses. So this is where shoppers were provided dollar-for-dollar matching gift cards that they can buy from a local chamber of commerce, including the Flint and Genesee Chamber. And it was a generous program that had great results. More than 2,500 Our Town gift cards were sold through the Flint and Genesee Chamber program, and customers redeemed those gift cards at shops and businesses that we all know and love throughout the county. So that's just an example of our hometown service and what that means to us. I would like to shift a little bit also to talk to you about our clean energy transformation, which is a very major step in what we hope to accomplish as a company for our customers and for our community. So when we talk about consumers' energy, obviously we believe and we have seen the effects of a changing climate. Our clean energy transformation is a fundamental part of our operation to protect the environment for generations to come. One of the biggest headlines is the closure in our targets for our coal-free targets. Ending the use of coal will be important for air quality, for cutting greenhouse gas emissions, and to save Michigan's wonderful waterways. We plan to retire our coal plants by 2025, 15 years sooner than planned. Our Campbell Generation Complex near Holland and our Carner Generation Complex near Bay City have served our state faithfully for decades. But we promise we won't leave anyone behind, including our workforce. We plan to support our employees and communities affected by early plant retirements, coal plant retirements, by finding new roles for our employees that they can transition into as we move into the clean energy space, and helping local leaders pursue new energy futures as well for those sites. So we are fully vested with the environmental responsibilities to those sites as well. So we're going to take the same approach that we took with our Classic 7 coal-fired plants that were retired in 2016, and taking those lessons learned as we move forward. This includes the Cobb plant that was closed in Muskegon, and also the Whiting plant near Monroe. So what does a brighter energy future look like in the state of Michigan? Again, we'll retire our coal plants by 2025. This will end the use of coal, again, improving our air quality, cutting greenhouse gas emissions, and saving water. By the year 2040, more than 60% of our electric capacity will come from renewable sources,
most notably solar, wind, renewable natural gas, and high-capacity battery storage. We've already begun tapping more solar power in projects using a mix of owned and contracted services to do so. We plan to add 8,000 megawatts of solar, 8,000 megawatts of solar power to the grid by the year 2040. And to give you a little context of what 8,000 megawatts of solar looks like, if we just broke that down into 1,000 megawatts, that could power about 725,000 homes in the Midwest, just on 1,000. Our plan would also achieve 60% emission reductions by 2025, and that's even faster than the current administration, the Biden plan, and their goal to cut emissions in the country. In keeping with becoming net zero emissions by 2040, we're advocating for a smarter grid with energy efficiency, demand response program, and new technologies for our customers in their residents and in their businesses. The programs and toolkits will help us deal with peak demands and avoid building new plants and delivering the excellent services that our customers expect. We also are providing our customers with energy waste reduction plans and efficiency programs and demand response to also help curb the use of energy. And so we're asking everyone to join in as we move in to have a cleaner grid and also have the much needed impacts that we need to have in our environment. We are proud of these deliberate actions and thinking about it in a caring way as we move forward with some decommissionings of coal-fired plants. We're equally as proud of our efforts and our employees for the new possibilities that will come forward with the grid of the future. I remember a quote, I'm not sure where it came from, but I heard most recently that humans messed up the environment by mistakes. Think about what can happen if humans decided to fix the environment with intent. At Consumers Energy, we're intent with the way that we want to lead in the energy space, and we're open to new possibilities as we move forward again by 2040 with the plan to meet 90% of Michigan's energy needs with clean energy resources, including solar. So as we embark on this, we are also keeping our mind focused on the economy and being a champion for the Michigan's economy. We are delivering clean energy transformation. And so we've had to ask ourselves some key questions as it relates to our business community. How do we cultivate economic vitality and quality of life? Also, how do we create solutions that are good for business and customers and the planet? And there was a time where we had to choose between expensive or affordable, clean or dirty, and that's just not the case today. Energy can be safe, it can be reliable, it can be affordable, and now it can be cleaner than ever. And it's possible to provide the upgrades that we need to our grid with the help of all of our communities that is joining us in this movement. We're also moving forward with renewable energy. Again, that's going to be good for the planet, better for our personal health, and good for the economy and business. It also shows up in a way of eliminating waste as far as overproduction and also eliminating costs and capturing that carbon footprint to reduce it. Our energy company and through our programs, to help customers to be more energy efficient, we have already invested over $4 billion since 2009 in energy efficiency programs for our customers, both residential and business. I know it may sound strange, but we're also moving towards helping customers use less of our products, not more of our products, by having more energy efficiency, again, in homes, in the businesses, and the places that we use on a daily basis. So as we move forward, we've also made a commitment to spend $1.5 billion each year over the next 5 years. That's a spend of $7.5 billion in total to make sure that we meet these very aggressive energy goals, and we move forward and be a leader not only in the state of Michigan, but in the country as it relates to this transformation. Last but not least, just attracting talent and keeping a talented workforce here in the state of Michigan. We connect with many of our college and university partners for our program, our line worker program. One that I like to speak about is just Mott Community College, where we have our line worker training program that we were able to bring to Mott last year. That program is doing open houses right now to train those individuals to come into our company, as we'll have many retirements that will happen over the next couple of years. And then our corporate giving and the resources that we give through the Consumers Energy Foundation, our volunteerism of our workforce, the grants that are made. Many of you know Carolyn Bloodworth, who runs our foundation, has been with the company for over 40 years and has literally showed up in all 68 Lower Peninsula communities. And so our foundation, our workforce, and what we're doing in education has really all come together to be the type of company that we want to do to show up in community. So just in closing, again, I'm thankful for the opportunity today to give you a glimpse of what hometown service means to us, to give you a glimpse of what our clean energy plan looks like as we move forward, and also much more of how this large company shows up in community despite of our size. And also, just want to give an opportunity for questions and answers. But again, I'm just thankful to be here today and hopefully create a situation for a win-win for Michigan and really attracting the talent, keeping the talent that we need here and attracting new businesses and jobs to our state. Thank you.
My question for gas stove, as you may have seen, a recent report indicated that perhaps they're not as safe as you thought that they were. They somehow can create asthma in young kids. But it sounds like the jury's still out on that. I have a gas stove in my house. Should I be concerned, when I turn it on and use the gas?
Yeah, so I'm gonna leave like the concerns like to the health experts. I can tell you from from an energy company standpoint, like natural gas, producing natural gas, distributing it to homes is still a big part of our business. We know of obviously we're going to hear a lot about and have heard about a lot of the electrification model, right? Electric vehicles, using all electric appliances and those type of things. What we've heard and what we've seen, right now, that may not be cost effective for everyone. Like if everyone were to flip a switch and were to be driving electric vehicles tomorrow or checking out all appliances in the home to be electric, there's many new technologies that are coming on board that can help with the cost of that. But we also want to move and implement these new plans in a way that's going to be fair and equitable to everyone that is involved as well. And so if you think about some of our older homes, housing stock, removing every gas appliance that's in the home at this point in time without those technologies being readily available and affordable, it wouldn't be feasible for one to switch to all electric appliances in the home. So delivering natural gas is still a big part of our model. And there's nothing from our side of the company that has described. I know there's a lot of fear. I've got calls about it in the community like this. Consumers coming or DTE coming to take my gas appliances away from my home. That is just not the plan.
How much power do you buy? It makes it go on to keep the grid on.
Yeah, so when we're generating our power, like at our facilities that we're using now, when we talk about switching over, we talk about our coal facility that's in Bay City, for instance, our current plant there. We're buying coal from US, like from in the US, the coal that's shipped into our current plant is produced right here in the US and it's generated at facilities that we own. Right now, we do have agreements where we're buying like solar energy from developers across the state that are adding solar into the grid. But most of the production of that is happening here locally.
Our gas comes from Texas and all.
Yeah, on the gas side, we have Texas and Oklahoma. So that's being purchased right here in the US.
Thanks, Raphael. As far as the transition to electric vehicles, what is our capacity if everybody, now that more and more are being sold, more and more manufacturers started with Tesla, but now everybody's whole fleet seems to be changing in that direction. As that happens, is the infrastructure for charging able to keep up with that capacity? Is there any concern as more and more people are plugging in at night at 220 volts that we need to do more to build the infrastructure to support that transition?
Absolutely. Yep. We are, I believe that we're on pace to keep up, as new electric vehicles come online. I believe that we'll be able to keep up. Like, it couldn't be an overnight, like I said, if that was switch, if all of our vehicles outside in the parking lot now were, we waved the wand and they were all converted to electric. Do we have the energy, or the charging capacity to sustain that? Absolutely not. But as we move forward, through federal dollars, state dollars, what we've committed to as a company to putting that charging network in place across the state of Michigan. I feel that, we'll stay on pace with those vehicles as they start to come in. And also, it's kind of outside of, our wheelhouse, but also the federal government working on like universal like charging stations, because, we see different companies only have the chargers that fit, their vehicle. And so that's really going to be important to have like universal charging if you want to create like the national grid of power stations, like we have the gas stations along interstates when you go state to state to travel. Overnight charging will be a part of that. I'll say, like, personally, I just, we just purchased our first electric vehicle last year. And, primarily our charging is happening at home. And so we're being mindful of that, of creating that network of chargers throughout the state, and thinking about things that we can do, again, to create equity in the system. Because again, if you live in a multi-family unit, apartments, where can you charge if you don't have an individual single family home where you can put in a 220 plug or do a home charger? So all of those are on our thoughts and minds every day as we build out this infrastructure to do so.
Bill, what would you say is the biggest obstacle in switching to these alternative energy sources you described, solar and wind?
So I would say just on the front line of it, of going to community citing citing a utility scale solar farm. You're talking about hundreds of acres. If you ever go by like a wind farm project where that's taking place, battery storage. And so, the obstacle obviously is siting. And so it's not necessarily with landowners, because when we say, when I went into communities, some of our rural communities in Michigan, landowners and farmers, especially, so one, it won't take up, we're talking about less than 1 or 2% of the farmland that we have in Michigan. So, I want to dispel that, building out a solar farm or a wind farm is going to take away the farming. It'll be, even at max capacity, 8,000 megawatts, I don't think we would even come close to having like 3% of what the farmland is that is out there today. But the problem is citing it. One is because it's been politicized. So whether people believe that our climate is changing and our weather is getting more severe, or we really need to make the transition from coal to other sources like wind and solar. It's also a political issue that sometimes it's not based on any facts about what's happening with our environment. So really getting those projects cited and really doing the education that needs to happen in communities to understand what it takes to cite those and why we need to bring them online to help with our environment.
I know we're running a little short on time, time for one more question here, and then are you available for a few minutes after?
Yes, I'll be available after.
Thanks for speaking today, listening to my electrifying joke.
It was awesome. It was very time.
Yeah. I'm glad I could spark you up here. You were talking about renewables. But I heard you say natural gas is a renewable. Did I hear that correctly? And if you said that, can you explain that? Because I don't understand that. How is natural gas renewable?
Yeah, so one of the things when I talked about like how natural gas, some of the coal-fired plants that are coming offline, they produce huge amount of power that we need for our grid. We've already bought all the yeah. So I'll let Kyle jump in on that because of some of the things that he covers in our state governmental affairs. But we're also using some of these natural gas plants to create electricity as some of the coal-fired plants come off. And we have, as some of the coal-fired plants are coming offline, we're using natural gas plants to create electricity, and so that's better for the environment. From the agricultural standpoint.
Yeah, the way to think about it, Nick, if you think about a livestock or agricultural facility, the methane is generated either from the cows or if you have things sitting and there's natural, that's methane. We can clean that and actually put it back in the system to power use. That's how it's renewable. You don't say natural gas if you don't want to say what cows are putting out, but you can take the methane that's from that, recycle it, and it's no longer emitted from the landfill. Yeah, landfills as well. We're already doing it with landfills now. Most landfills have that. Their economics. But from the ag side, we have a pilot with that that we justify for an Alto machine in West Side.
Wasn't there a movie with Mel Gibson and Tina Turner and Future where they used methane to generate?
Okay, I'll go back. Speak around.
I just question how the environment is, but it takes like 37,000 acres of solar panels to replace a power plant. 37,000 acres for one power plant. That's a lot of disruption to the environment, to trees, to the animal population. I'm just wondering how, are we just trading bad for bad?
Yeah, so, you know, when the solar panels go over to the land, I mean, at some point, you know, can be returned, like the farmers, so that's the goal is to have that land prepped, it wants to go back in the farm. And again, we're not, we are working with the Farm Bureau, but we're not looking to push like anything with farmers out. These are our folks who want, you know, to do at least for this land to generate that power. And do it in a way that is sustainable, that won't disrupt the quality of the land. And again, even if we cited the 8,000 megawatts that we talked about, it'll be less than 3% of the farmland that we currently have in the state of Michigan for our plan.
We'll have to leave it there for now, but thank you so much, Raphael. Thank you, everybody, for your interest. And if you do have questions, please feel free to talk with Raphael further. I want to thank you for being here today, and we have a little extra token of appreciation for you.
Get it out. It's I don't look rough. It's a corporate swag throwback. When I received these Raphael after my roast, you do as well. It's a ready kilowatt plate. When they got these from me, it was a set of 2. And so as another Consumers Energy Rotarian, you have a ready kilowatt plate. There's a stand for it. If you go in your office, this is one of our logos from the 50s and 60s. And so if you can have corporate swag that's throwback, this is it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Raphael. Of course, the donations are made in your name to Rotary International Foundation for the eradication of polio. And thank you, everybody who was here today. Nick for being, answering my call to be a joke duo panelist today. Fred with the 50/50, Ellen for being our Zoom host, Rob jumping in with the birthdays. Of course, Terry always helps out with the front desk. Thank you for everybody who pitched in the setup and take down Dan. It's just really the team effort. So stay tuned. Next week, we'll have the mayor here. Quickly, if you think you're going to bring a guest next week, could you just raise your hand so you can give the food bank folks a heads up? No? Okay. All right. Very good. Well, we'll see you next Friday. All right. Thanks so much. We are adjourned.